Welcome to this week's edition of Mainly Motorsports, and here with my little buddy. I shouldn't call you my little buddy, huh? What was
Frankly, it's always a pleasure to be here, Steve. So
No, and I haven't seen you. First off, how's school going?
it's going. It's tough, definitely. The engineering classes and keeping up with baseball, and still trying to work on the race car in the off season. So it keeps me busy. That's for sure.
No, and speaking of racing, a couple of weeks back, you went to the Beach Ridge banquet, and a mentor of yours, Dickie Fowler, gets a Lifetime Achievement Award, and well deserving, huh? And I mean, a big night for him and his family.
Oh, absolutely. It was. I had no idea about the award going into it that night or whatever. Half our team really had no idea. And it was a huge surprise to a lot of us. I mean, not a surprise because, someone like him is very well deserving of that award. But it was really cool to see as soon as they started talking about it because, they do the little intro to kind of keep build up the suspense. And as soon as they started talking about it, I was like, oh, here we go. So
yeah.
And it was just really cool. It's really humbling to be a part of a team like that, And there's just a lot of guys, who have had a lot of success in racing. But I'd say he's one who is definitely a cut above the rest. And there's only a few guys that you can say that are like that. A lot of guys talk about, how many wins they've had. They can't even remember how many wins or whatever. And this guy talks about how many championships he's had. And he can't even remember sometimes, just like what year, how many this, this span of 10 years or whatever. And, it's really, really honoring to be a part of a team like that. So.
Yeah, and when you look back on motorsports, or anything, but we're in the motorsports business, obviously, you want to leave that mark, and you want to think that you left a mark. If and there aren't many people, like you said, like Dickie Fowler, that when it comes to motorsports, in particular Beach Ridge Motor Speedway, that has left his mark. Taking 4 drivers to championships.
Mm-hmm.
I think his first one was in the 80s and in the 90s, and and it just keeps happening.
As the track progresses, people go through like their phases of being good and being bad. One guy has a stellar year, another guy has an okay year, and it switches off. But Dickie and his team have just remained consistently competitive as the years go by, and you don't see that out of a lot of teams. And he's been there longer than anyone I know personally, and it's just really cool to hear a story about that, about a young kid who started out selling programs at the track, and now he's one of the greatest known names at the track.
Well,
it's almost something you could make a movie.
Well, it's
really.
one of those things that I think everybody, whether they're a fan of him and his race car or his race team, they at least have to respect him.
Absolutely.
And that's what you want in anything you do is that respect. And Dickie, he commands it because he's earned it.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. He's earned the respect, and it's very humbling to be a part of a team like that. I can't say enough about the Fowler family and our JF Motorsports. They've done so much for me and so much for so many people. They've given back to racing in so many ways, and it's just awesome to be a part of that team.
Yeah, and now you need to make your legacy.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I kind of keep my deal separate from theirs just because, that's the way it is. They have Mikey drive right now, and I still obviously go help them as much as I can, and it's really cool to do it that way. So, we'll see what happens later on down the road, but right now the focus is on Mikey and helping his team. So.
Yeah, and then the rest of the banquet, honoring the champions, and that's what it's all about that night. I mean, there's hundreds of people there, but really there's 3 people that take center stage, and those are those 3 champions.
Oh, absolutely.
All very deserving, and
very.
A friend of yours, Garrett Hall, and I say a lot of times you got to lose one to win one, which I felt he did. He lost one the year before, but he came back with a vengeance. And
still, for being in the division for 3 years, that's all it took him. All said and done, there you go. So even his second year was a stellar year any way you look at it, whether you had to win one to lose one.
Yep.
Both of those years, and even
yeah.
his rookie year too, were all 3 just phenomenal years. So very well deserving for Garrett.
Yeah, and then Justin Kakos, a great battle with him and David Vaughn, and
absolutely.
Went out and raced hard all year, and it wasn't given to him,
But I think Karkos, he did what he had to do. He definitely set goals for himself and really just worked at it. Like he talked about a lot in his speech, he said he just had a New Year's resolution and just built off that. And that's what got him a championship in the end. So
yeah, and then the Pro Series, which is the ultimate goal. And I remember, Scott Lanford and me had a conversation last winter. It might have been at the Augusta show, and we were just talking about the level of competition. And I said, consistency is going to win that championship. And I said,
absolutely.
Somebody can win that championship without winning a race.
Absolutely, and that's
you know,
exactly what happened.
He came up to me with like 3 or 4 weeks left in the season. He says, I never believed it could happen, and you're absolutely right. Dave Farrington's going to win this. And not saying he might not still win a race, but it's not looking like he's going to. And
for a guy who didn't even win a race and to win by the points margin that he did, it was just, that just goes to show that consistency will win championships no matter what. Whether you win 4 races, whether you win none. He won no races, and he still had, he could have thrown that week away.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so no, it is great, and congratulations to all 3 of them, and and all the other award winners, and that's one thing about the Beech Ridge Banquet, though, it sets the standard.
Oh, absolutely. It just sets the precedent for other tracks around there too. I think the Beech Ridge definitely does it right with their facility, the way that they run the track, and then the way that they have their banquet. I wouldn't have it any other way. So.
Yeah, I traveled down to the Near Banquet a few weeks ago, and there was a big contingency of Southern Maine people down there as supporting Mike Rowe and supporting the whole Near organization as they got inducted into he got inducted into the Hall of Fame. And you've had the pleasure of working with Mike in the past, helped us out a couple times last year. So and now it's the off season, but it isn't. I mean, I don't know if we're going to have an off season this year.
Oh, there's barely an off season. You get the Snowball Derby, you got some big dirt races coming up too. So it's just. There really is no off-season in racing, that's for sure. Yeah,
so we're going to take a break. I'm here with Alex Lockenhader, and we're going to talk, when we come back, the Snowball Derby, and probably the biggest news that's happened up here in the Northeast. And, I want to hear your take on the act and pass. I don't want to call it a merger, but, they got some big deals going on.
Definitely, absolutely.
You don't have to wait until the end of camping season to get your best price. Hi, I'm Scott from Scott's Recreation. We're starting our end-of-season sale now. This is our biggest selection ever. Fifth wheels with savings up to $20,000. Big selection of toy haulers starting at only $19,999. 2015 Trail Runner bunkhouses with super slides and island kitchens for only $199 per month. Motorhomes, truck campers, and more. Financing available. Trades welcome.
Scott's Recreation, Turner and Manchester, Maine. Don't let the other guys rough you up. Shop online at otmotorsales.com.
Clark's Eastside Scrap and Westside Scrap, 2 of the region's most efficient scrap yards. Both locations have the latest and greatest equipment, along with large capacity scales that are constantly calibrated to ensure honest weights. Car crushing, roll-off containers, scrap metal. Clark's Eastside Scrap in Chelsea and Clark's Westside Scrap in Farmingdale. Don't fix it, scrap it.
Mainly Motorsports TV, brought to you by
Moody's Collision Centers, now with 7 convenient locations: Gorham, Scarborough, Biddeford, Portland, Sanford, Lewiston, and now South Portland. Visit us at moodyscollision.com.
Southern Maine Motors, out to be Maine's #1 Chrysler Dodge Jeep dealership, Route 1 Saco.
Well, you mentioned the Snowball Derby, and I'm traveling down there. As if you're watching this Wednesday night, I'm heading.
Yep.
And that is, to us, we have the 250.
Yep.
A little bit different format, but still the prestige of that big time event. They both started within 5 or 6 years of each other, back years ago, and yeah, pretty exciting to go down and see some of the names that are on the list. We got 3 guys from the north going down, Brian, Joey, and Austin, and and then the level of competition that rolls in from all over the country.
Oh, absolutely. It just goes to show guys who are up here on the pass tour and stuff, and they just dominate. And they go down there, and not to say that they're not competitive, but it just goes to show the level of competitiveness that they have in a lot of other places, because you see guys like Chase Elliott and Eric Jones, and they're just 1-2 way away from the pack, and it's definitely tough to keep up with guys like that.
Yeah, there'll be 70 plus competitors, and you know, when you heard the drivers talk on last week's show, and it's all about those 2 laps of time trial. That can that makes it's sad.
Which we don't even do up here. We
Yeah.
don't even do time trials anywhere in almost New England. So
Yeah, the Milk Bowl does them, and I think that's it. And so yeah, to go down there and put so much effort into your practice, but it's not even race trim practice. It's that qualifying time trial practice, and you know, those 2 laps, and you know, that is such a big deal. And I can't imagine going to bed Friday night after I've qualified in, knowing Sunday's race is 2 days away, but I'm already locked into, you know, one of the biggest short track races in the country, the Snowball Derby.
Oh, absolutely. And it's almost like going to bed the day before the 250, you know, even though they all qualify on the same day, it's still just that nerve-wracking feeling that you get the day before a big race.
Well,
and it's like...
It's funny, years ago, they used to qualify on Saturday for the 250, and it was that same deal. They'd run the heats on Saturday, so there was 20 to 24 guys that got a good night's rest that night. They were already locked in. They didn't have to come back and worry about the consi, the last chance qualifier, whether the track had changed and the setup they had to now retune for.
Right, you know, because they could be awesome on Friday when they qualify, and then come Sunday they could be complete junk just because the track changes, you know, conditions on the car change, whatever. And so it can really, it's good to be in, but it's also like you still got to keep up with everything, and that's what those guys down there do a good job of doing. So
yeah, no, they do, and I'm really excited to go down. And but the biggest news that, you know, it's almost not, you'd think it'd be old news because it happened a few weeks back, but it isn't old news yet, and that's Act and Pass.
Oh, absolutely.
Coming together and putting on some what I call marquee events this coming season. And
this is going to be some of the biggest racing events that short track racing has ever seen in the New England area, just because it's going to be so good. There's going to be not a lot of competitiveness between series now. You know, guys won't have to pick and choose races. They can definitely be more flexible with that. And it's going to be a healthy choice and, you know, decision between those guys for everyone all around. It's definitely going to benefit everybody.
Now, which one are you most looking forward to? I mean, we got Chaudière, you know, Oxford. I think Oxford kickoff one is going to be big just because it's the first time. You know, Airborne, Thunder Road. I mean,
I'd say, you know, I've never been to Airborne. I've been to Chaudière, and I'd say it'd have to be between Chaudière or Thunder Road. I've never been to Thunder Road either, but I heard that place is just amazing to watch racing, to race on. So either Chaudière, which I think is one of the coolest racetracks I've ever been to, or Airborne. I'm sorry, Thunder Road. Definitely, the 2 races to watch.
No, it's excited. I know it's lit a fire under, you know, our driver Mike Rowe. You know, I mean, he's excited to get back to tracks that he thought he would never race on again. You know, and you know, and then I've talked to, you know, Tom, and both of them are excited, and you know, at the opportunities that this can present in the future. You know,
exactly. You know, and it's great for guys all around. It's definitely going to be worth the watch. Almost all of those races, you know, because it's like going to 2 separate shows in one.
Yeah, and I think the big winner of all of it is the fan. You know, now the fan doesn't have to pick and choose where they go.
Right.
They go and they see 2 quality products right there in front of them on the same day. And then obviously August 30th, the granddaddy of them all, you know, the Oxford 250, you know, the past couple of years, they've had to make those choices.
Right.
You know, now the drivers don't have to make a choice. The fans don't have to make a choice.
Exactly.
They
you
can
know,
all under one roof, really.
Especially with the date change of the Oxford 250, that definitely helps. So that way those guys can all come. And, you know, some guys both have ACT cars and pass cars, so they're going to come and run both. The fan doesn't have to choose between what race he wants to go to. It benefits the car counts, it benefits the fan counts, and it benefits both promoters. Everything.
You know, and if you're that guy that's out chasing sponsorship too, you know, you're putting your company's name, or you know, you're taking your car, for example, and you're racing it, and the sponsors that you have are going to be in front of what should be a bigger product in the grandstands.
Oh, absolutely. You know, and it's just going to be awesome for short track racing in general, I think.
Yeah. Now, how about, we've talked about the Derby, we've talked about Act and Pass. How about Alex? What's Alex's plans? I mean, we moving forward? Or?
You know, college is keeping me very busy, but we've still been keeping up on the race car. So, you know, there's still some tinkering going on with that. No plans set in stone yet. You know, I like to try to race a little bit here and there this summer. But it all depends on, you know, the college schedule, the baseball schedule, and then obviously helping the Fowlers and RJF Motorsports, and then doing what racing I can. But, you know, I'd like to kind of get everything set in stone with everything else first, and then kind of go racing. Because like I said before, you know, I've got the rest of my life to race, so it's definitely not the #1 priority for me right now.
No engagement. We're not engaged. I mean, I haven't seen you in a while. You know, no girlfriends. We're not engaged. We're not getting married. None of that crazy stuff.
No, none of that crazy stuff. As long as I have a race car, that stuff is hard to keep up with.
Really, that's what you young racers say.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when paying the bills on the race car and paying the bills for a girlfriend, I think you get a little more out of the race car than you might out of the girlfriend. So
that means you won't have a car at the Northeast Motorsports Expo?
Probably not this year. You know, I'll definitely be there checking out everybody else's, and it'll definitely be a great time. But
and smiling for the picture at your. Did I ever
for the
tell
Pit
you
Crew Challenge?
The Pit Crew Challenge. Alex had his team, and he was the happiest 12th place finisher, or wherever your team finished. But you were.
I think we made the top 10. But
did you?
I think so.
I'll have to go back and look. I don't know, but no, and that was fun. We're getting geared up for that, and then you got to at least buy some chances to win the raffle car, right?
Oh, I'm probably going to buy a couple chances because, I mean, who wouldn't want to win a turnkey pro stock? You know, no matter what you could do with it, it'd definitely be an awesome feeling just to win that. And then, you know, you can part it out, you can race it, you can do whatever you want with it. So
yeah,
just $25 per ticket, right?
Yeah, and I call it a moneymaker. When I was selling them at the flea markets, guys, and I'd say, listen, now you can go home. If you win this, you can go home, and all them years your wife or your girlfriend said you can't make money racing. It's a losing proposition. You say, well, you know what? Today we made money because we were at the thing, so you got your $500 bonus. Mm-hmm. We got our tires, our certificate for our tires from Northern Race Tire, and now we can sell the car, and we made money today in racing.
Exactly, and it's just it's fun, you know, and it's a great chance for everybody to just play along, and whoever wins, it's definitely going to be worth the $25 you spend for that chance, for $25,000 worth of equipment. So.
Yeah, no, you're right. So that's exciting. So don't forget, you get a chance. You can send me a message on Facebook, email. I'll get a hold of you and your chance to win a ticket. Oh, buy a ticket to win the $25,000 pro stock that Alex said. So we'll take a break. We'll be right back here on Mainly Motorsports.
Hi, I'm Johnny Wolf.
And I'm Dan Wolf. We've been selling and servicing vehicles on Route 25 in Gorham since 1972.
Wolf Auto Service offers state inspections, tires, brakes, and suspension.
21st Century Motors has a great selection of cars and trucks starting at $29.99.
With no mortgage and low overhead, we sell and service at guaranteed lowest prices.
We're just 6 miles west of Turnpike, exit 47 on Route 25 in Gorham. Online at 21stcenturymaine.com.
Legendary race car driver Bentley Warren is putting Arundel on the map. When Bentley's Saloon opened in 2004, it was just a little bar room on the side of the road. Today we have a giant saloon with live music, dancing, and great food and drink indoors and out. We're always looking to meet new friends and have a good old time. There's always something exciting going on at Bentley's. That's why we like to say, who has more fun than us? We do!
Mainly Motorsports TV, brought to you by
Scotch Recreation. Whether you're thinking about your first camper or looking to upgrade your current one, Scotch Recreation can help you. Get both our Route 202 Manchester and our Route 4 Turner locations and online at scotchrecreation.com.
Welcome to Mainly Motorsports.
To order copies of a show, send a check or money order for $15, shipping and handling included, to Mainly Motorsports, 326 Roosevelt Trail, Windham, Maine, 04062. And please add a description of the show.
Legendary race car driver Bentley Warren is putting Arundel on the map. When Bentley's Saloon opened in 2004, it was just a little bar room on the side of the road. Today we have a giant saloon with live music, dancing, and great food and drink indoors and out. We're always looking to meet new friends and have a good old time. There's always something exciting going on at Bentley's. That's why we like to say, who has more fun than us? We do!
Patman's Redemption and Agency Liquor Store is located at 95 Tanberg Trail in Windham, Maine. With over 400 feet of hard liquor and 15 doors of ice-cold beer and soda, Patman's can handle all of your beverage needs. And if it's wine on your agenda, we have over 300 varieties in stock. Then when the party's over, Patman's can handle all of your Maine returnables, and we welcome all bottle drives. And if you're late for the race, drop off the bottles and pick up the cash at your convenience.
Hey, this is Pat Man himself, just letting you know that Pat Man's is your one-stop shop for all your thirsty needs.
Well, welcome back to Mainly Motorsports. And as you watched last week, and we talked a lot about the Snowball Derby and upcoming, and you know, the guys from the Northeast that are going down and attempt to qualify and add their name to the history books and the record books of Snowball Derby winners. But we got a guy on the line. I'm going to call him Joey Pohl, who is hoping to add his name to the list of winners of the Snowflake 100, which is the day before the Snowball Derby. So, Joey, we want to welcome you to Mainly Motorsports.
Hey, I appreciate you guys having me on. It's definitely going to be an exciting week, I can tell you that.
Now, have you ever been down to the Snowball Derby?
No, I've never been down to it, but you know, obviously it's a very well talked about race, and everyone knows about it. And you know, the Snowflake is run the night before, but like you said, we've never been down there, and we'd like to get some experience down there and see how it goes.
Yeah, so obviously having your brother-in-law Austin Terrio having run it the past 2 years, you got somebody to lean on with what to expect. And what has he told you about this upcoming weekend and what you can expect that's going to take place down there at Five Flags Speedway?
Yeah, you know, we talked, and we're going to talk some more, but you know, this is, you can ask anybody, him and anybody, but this is all the top races in the whole country and Canada. This is, you know, this is huge. This is a big race, and anybody who's anybody is there, and you know, it gets a lot of coverage, a lot of media attention, and you know, it's something we've wanted to do for a while, but it's definitely not going to be easy. You have to be 100% on your game, and I think as of right now, there's 80 entries into the Snowflake. So you know, I got to talk to Austin about time trialing, and that's what it's basically going to come down to. I mean, if we can get into the race, then I think we'll be able to do our own thing and run our own pace. But I think the hardest part is going to be laying down 2 really fast laps and locking ourselves into it.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about with both Austin and Brian Hoare last week, is all the preparation and the hours and hours of practice that you'll spend Thursday and Friday to lay down those 2 laps. And, you know, was something that, you know, would you time trial once this year at the Milk Bowl? That's it?
Yeah, that's the thing about being in the Northeast. I love the racing up here and all that, but, you know, when you go down south, it's a whole different world when it comes to qualifying. You got 2 laps to lay down, you know, the best laps you can lay down, and that's, you know, there's no heat races per se, you know, to qualify 1 through 30. You know, you just got to time trial your way in. So I'd tell you, I'd be a lot happier if I can do that than going to those last chance races. And you know, that's the one thing I think everybody is stressing about right now is being able to walk yourself into it. So we've been working really hard on a setup for qualifying, and then after that we can start worrying about the race, because you got to make it first to start worrying about it.
Yeah. Now, how excited is your team? You know, to be able to go down and participate in this and be a part of everything that goes on this weekend?
Oh, we're really excited. I mean, like I said, this is something that has kind of been on our bucket list for a while. And, you know, we got a snowstorm coming tomorrow, so, you know, we'll deal with that, and then we can be on our way to Florida. But, you know, we're all really excited about it. I can't thank my guys enough, because it's a lot to take out of work and to go down here. But we're looking forward to it, and we're just hoping to have a good weekend. You know, we want to go down there, make the race, and run solid, and just get some experience. So, you know, we're excited about it and can't wait for this weekend.
And, you know, probably one of the better things that maybe you haven't even thought about it yet is you're going to get to sit there and watch the Snowball Derby on Sunday, you know, where your race is Saturday night. So you're going to be able to be a spectator at one of the marquee events all of the country for short track super late model racing.
Yeah, definitely. That'll be pretty cool. I mean, the racer in me wants to be in that race too, but, you know, it'll be cool to get the Snowflake under our belt and watch the Snowball Derby, and you know, who knows what next year will bring. Hopefully we'll know more about the track and about, you know, how to drive it and setup wise, and we'll see what happens next year. But we're just super excited about this.
No, and good for you, and you should be. And which brings me to my next topic of conversation, and that's your 2014 season. It's what some people would call a dream season. I mean, I think your average finish was what, less than a third. I mean, 2 point something. I mean, it was just remarkable season that you and your whole team put together. Won some Granite State races, competitive on the Pro All-Star Series when you showed up, but culminated with the ACT Championship that I know I talked to you earlier in the year on the Big Jab radio show, and that was a main focus. You and your team had really set your mind to that as your ultimate goal, and you accomplished it. So take us through 2014 and how everything played out.
It's a year that we've dreamed about for a long time. We've been after it. I'm still pretty young, but we've been after it for quite a few years, and we've been close. We've been close a couple times, but just never were able to get the job done. And this year we were just focused on consistent finishes on the ACT tour. There was opportunities for us to maybe better our position a couple times, but we were point chasing and got good finishes every week. And then the last race of the year was a race I really wanted to win. And we kind of had the championship locked up, and we raced that one hard, and that was a cool win for us. But this whole year has just been amazing. It really has been. Even with our super late model, we still want to get better with that program, but I think we made some pretty big gains with it this year. And I think next year it's going to be a great year again. But this year was just. It's something that we've dreamed about, like I said, for a long time, and it's just great to finally get that championship. We've won a lot of good races, but never had that championship, so it's cool to get that off the list.
Yeah, and it's hard to think that a kid in his early to mid-20s has a monkey on his back, but you really did, I mean, and I look back at, a few years ago, Joey, when the year you rolled into the Oxford 250 as the pre-race favorite, and you just had a terrible day, nothing went right. Then you come back and you not even talked about it, anybody wondering, is Joey here, and you dominated the day and the race, so the last few years things have definitely come together for you, and then in 2015 you got the pass and ACT thing coming together, and that plays right into your hands. You're a guy that's got an ACT car, you got a pass car, so I mean there's some big events coming up that Joey's going to be spend a lot of time behind the wheel of a race car.
Yeah, it's awesome for me. I mean, I think it's great for the fans and all the competitors as well. But especially for a guy like me who has both cars, you can better believe we'll be there with both cars every time that there is a combo race. So it'll be a lot of racing, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be a new challenge, something that I've never really done before with the doubleheader type on the same day. So it'll be different for me, but. I can't wait. I can't wait to get this season started. Yeah, no, and that brings us to the 2015 plans. I mean, has that played a role in what your plans are? Have you sat down and made the plans, or is everything still up in the air for Joey and his team? I think everything's kind of up in the air. Definitely, every race that we can make, we want to do. But it'll probably be kind of along the same lines of what it was like this year. But I'm open to definitely make a lot more pass races. Obviously, the Oxford 250 is not conflicting this year with the ACT Tour, so I've been wanting to get back to Oxford since I haven't been there since 2012. So, I'm really excited about that, and I just think that there's going to be a lot more opportunities to race both cars this coming year. So, like I said, I think it's going to be a great year for everybody, the fans, competitors, just everybody.
Yeah, no, you're right, Joey. But I want to thank you for taking the time with us here on Mainly Motorsports. We look forward to catching up with you this weekend down in Pensacola and see what your take is, and hopefully cheer you on to a good run. I mean, obviously you want to win the thing, but we're all realists too, and you have goals, and you want to come out of there and thinking you were better Saturday night at the end of the race than you were when you showed up in the first time you got on the track. So good luck from all of us in Mainly Motorsports, and look forward to catching up with you, Joey.
All right, really appreciate you guys having me on.
All right, thanks, Joey. And that's Joey Pohl, who's going to make the trek all the way to Florida and give it a run at the Snowflake 100.
I did not grow up in the car business. I started as a technician in a small garage, and now lucky enough to own my own dealership. I think buying a new car should be hassle-free with pricing up front. We like to negotiate with everyone the same way. Our goal is for our customers to feel good and make it easy and quick if they so desire. We pay our sales staff to help satisfy your needs, not to collect a traditional commission.
Southern Maine Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Maine's only Viper dealer, Route 1, Saco.
Award season event is going on now.
You don't have to wait until the end of camping season to get your best price. Hi, I'm Scott from Scotch Recreation. We're starting our end of season sale now. This is our biggest selection ever. Fifth wheels with savings up to $20,000. Big selection of toy haulers starting at only $19,999. 2015 Trail Runner bunkhouses with super slides and island kitchens for only $199 per month. Motorhomes, truck campers, and more. Financing available, trades welcome.
Scott's Recreation, Turner and Manchester, Maine.
For a trusted name in residential and commercial site work in the Southern Maine area, call Peter Pettit Excavating. We can handle everything from the complete house lot to those nasty water and sewer line repairs. Septic systems are another area that we specialize in. During the snow season, Pettit Excavating has the equipment to handle any size job.
And when the race season arrives, be sure to follow the number 7 Hewitt's Family Restaurant Chevrolet on the past Super Late Model Tour.
Call 207-282-9305 to get the job done right. That's Peter Pettit Excavating.
Mainly Motorsports TV, brought to you by
Bentley Saloon, Route 1 in Arundel. Stop by and see why me and my friends say, who has more fun than us? We do.
Clark's Car Crushing, providing guaranteed honest weights with top dollar being paid.
Well, between last week's show and this week's show, you heard from the Northern New England guys that are going to go down and compete down at Pensacola, Joey Pole in the Snowflake 100, Austin Terrio, Brian Hoare in the Snowball Derby. So, you know, it's a chance for you to follow along with them. Take two, Dave. That just didn't sound like much. It sounded crap. All right. So at the beginning of this week's episode and last week's episode, you heard from Joey Pole, Brian Hoare, Austin Terrio, all headed to Five Flags Speedway, compete in this weekend Snowball Derby, Snowflake 100. And due to Speed 51 and everything they do, you'll be able to follow along, whether you want to watch it on live TV, watch it on your computer, or follow along as Brandon and his crew, Bob Dillner, all of them, do a phenomenal job of bringing this race to you, the race fan that wants to follow along, not only with those three, but some of the other names that are going to be down there. And just like any race that we see up here in the north or in any parts of the country, you have the favorites that come in, the so-called heavy hitters. And some of the names to look forward to as you're following along throughout the weekend on speed51.com. It'd be at the top of the speed charts or be covered heavily by the media. Ross Kenseth, Eric Jones going for what nobody else has done. Rich Bickle has done back-to-back a couple of times, but nobody has done it 3 in a row. And Eric Jones is doing what nobody else is going to try. And that's one of the reasons why KBM is not fielding a car, 2 cars into the Snowflake. They really want to focus on the team. Last year handled the Snowflake and the Snowball. This year they really want to focus on the Snowball. They have a second car coming that's going to run the Snowflake. It's going to be headed up right by one of our locals, Seth Holbrook. He's going to be heading it up out of the KBM shops, and as they compete in the Snowflake with Christopher Bell. But the Snowball, all of Bond Sice, the whole team, Wes, every one of them, they're putting all their focus on trying to give Eric Jones that 3rd win in a row for the Snowball Derby. Chase Elliott, dominated last year. Nobody was even in the same class as him. Got DQ'd in Tech. Everybody knows about the Tungsten. He's coming back to prove that it wasn't a fluke. Daniel Hemrick, Bubba Pollard. We saw Daniel Hemrick at the 250 driving for Dickie Woodman. He was a threat last year till something broke in the track bar area. Grant Infinger, teamed up with Gary Crooks this year. We all know what Gary Crooks is capable of doing. Grant finished runner-up last year, looking to better it by 1 spot and match his Daytona ACA win and be a champion of the Snowball Derby. John Hunter Nemechek, Joe Nemechek's son, really a stellar performer on the super late model side of things in the southeastern part of the country. And a couple of names I want to throw at you that from last year that I thought ran real well, kind of those sleepers, guys that are fast. Nobody's really probably going to talk about them until halfway through the race when they are towards the top 10. And I believe Casey Smith and Donnie Wilson are 2 names to look forward. So, those are some names that you can follow along with. But, 70, 80 entries for this weekend Snowflake and Snowball Derby. And you heard from Joey and Brian and Austin. the most important thing of the whole weekend is those 2 laps. 2 laps, time trialing, because they don't have the luxury of only having 43 cars like the Cup does. And, whether you start second or 18th or 42nd really probably doesn't matter. If you can put a good race package underneath you, you're going to be there at the end. In this, you need to be in the starting field. You need to kind of qualify in the top 30 that first night just to give yourself that freedom of the next day working on race trim, and really focusing on the race in hand on Sunday. So it's going to be such a big deal for those guys. You'll be able to follow it all along on speed51.com. And as you heard earlier on the TV, you can buy a TV package and follow along and watch the race. And, if you can't be there, what better way than to watch it on the computer? So, really want to thank Bob Dillner and his entire staff, Tim Bryan, and everybody, and what they've been able to do with the Snowball Derby and taking it to a next level for the race fans throughout the country, being able to follow along and feel like they're there and a part of it. And we at Mainely Motorsports are going to be a part of it. And on next week's episode, you'll be able to see some highlights of what took place down there at Pensacola and see who wins this year's Snowball Derby. So we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll have another guest on the phone and talking more about the Derby and what to expect this weekend.
Hi, I'm Johnny Wolf.
And I'm Dan Wolf. We've been selling and servicing vehicles on Route 25 in Gorham since 1972.
Wolf Auto Service offers state inspections, tires, brakes, and suspension.
21st Century Motors has a great selection of cars and trucks starting at $29.99.
With no mortgage and low overhead, we sell and service at guaranteed lowest prices.
We're just 6 miles west of Turnpike, exit 47 on Route 25 in Gorham. Online at 21stcenturymain.com.
We've got the car you've been looking for at OT Motor Sales. Shop online at otmotorsales.com.
Not sure what brand tire to buy? Town Fair Tire has them all. Michelin, Goodyear, Firestone, Bridgestone, Pirelli, Toyo, Yokohama, Hankook, and more. No matter what size or brand, Town Fair Tire beats all the competition, even online prices. We'll also do a free front wheel alignment with any tire purchase. Name brand tires, the lowest prices, free alignment. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
Welcome back to Mainely Motorsports, and feel real privileged to catch up with this guy. And we had to catch up with him a little early, but he will be the busiest guy, other than maybe Ricky Brooks, for this upcoming weekend, Snowball Derby weekend. And that's Tim Bryan, owner and promoter of Five Flags Speedway. And want to welcome you to Mainely Motorsports, Tim.
Hey, Steve. Thanks for calling us down here in the Deep South. It's always a pleasure to be on with you.
Yeah, and last time we had you on the show was that we were coming down, making our first trek down to the Snowball Derby, and didn't know what to expect. And I'll tell you, I've been the last 2 years and obviously going this year, and it's one of those things that's on my list every single year. You, my friend, do a fabulous job the whole entire weekend of making this more than just a race. It is an event. So first off, I want my hat's off to you, Tim.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I'll accept that on behalf of about probably a dozen people that have just worked their fingers to the bone over the last few months. And to expand up beyond that, another probably 180 to 200 more people who, over the course of the next 5 days, will be working really hard to make sure everybody has a good experience.
No, you're absolutely right. And the biggest news that, in my opinion, that's happening this year right now, other than the racers that are coming down to try to win that prestigious Tom Dawson Trophy, is Speed 51 taking it to another level, offering a television package so you can follow along on the internet and watch this great race no matter where you are in the country.
Steve, we know it's a challenge for folks, especially in your neighborhood, to get all the way to Florida that's close to Christmas. But we wanted to do everything we could to make them where they could see some of the on-track action. Of course, we're proud of our alliance with Speed 51, and it's a good marriage. And 51 TV is a fairly new entity, but we know the guys are going to do a good job. So we're really hoping that folks up there will get a chance to view some of the action and maybe even be intrigued enough about it to try to make the trip next year.
Well, I know since we've gone the first year, 2 years ago, last year we had some people from up here in the Northeast that had never been. They said, you know what, we're going to go. They went down and checked it out. Already this year, people that have never gone have heard me talk about it, heard me all summer. They asked me questions. They've seen the highlights we've shown, the footage we've shown the last couple of years. Now this year, there's another 10 or 12 people that have never made the trek that are coming to the Snowball Derby. So we're trying to do our little part up here in the Northeast by letting them know about your great race and your great race weekend. And then what we can't tell them, they can surely find out from Speed 51 throughout all weekend long.
Yeah, snowballderby.com and speed51.com is loaded with scheduling information, ticket information, transportation, how the parking works, all that good stuff. And by the way, I know a lot of folks, whether they're making the trip down this week or whether they're going to stay home and watch it on 51 TV, they're going to be pulling for one Joey Pole.
Oh, yeah. You know, Joey Pole making his first, we had him on earlier in this show, and making his first trek down there. He's never seen the track. He's excited about it. Obviously, his brother-in-law, Austin Terrio, had a third-place finish last year, so he's got somebody to rely on to answer some of the questions that what to expect the track to do throughout the weekend. And, yeah, it's we got three of them coming down from the Northeast, Brian Hoare, Austin, who's had some success down there, and then Joey. So they got their guys to cheer for, and then obviously some of the names that we see all year long on Speed 51, that'll be there. So it's just going to be a great weekend of racing.
Well, I tell you, Austin has gotten quite a few laps down here around Five Flags. He's been to several of our Blizzard races, and what a great run last year to finish in the top three in the Snowball. So, you know, he's another one that the guys are, again, in your neighborhood are going to be pulling for, and he's even developed a pretty good fan base down here in the South. So, you know, all corners of the country are represented. Steve, we've got the three entries from California. You know, one of the stories that we've kind of rode along on over the last 60 days as we've been preparing for Snowball Derby weekend was the multitude of champions from different organizations that are going to be converging down here on our 60-year-old half-mile oval. So it's going to be an exciting weekend. The Alan Turner Snowflake 100 scheduled for Saturday night, which is basically our crate motor race, has a record number of entries, and then of course the 300-lap extravaganza scheduled for Sunday. It's the 47th Snowball Derby. A good field of cars for that. You know, unfortunately, a lot of guys are going to go disappointed. We've got 36 starting spots in those two races, and about 140 cars that are going to be vying for those spots.
Yeah, I was going to say the car counts look to be upwards in the 70 range for each event, and you know, which makes those 2 laps of time trialing so crucial. We've heard the drivers; that's all they talk about is those 2 laps, and you know it because you hear everybody talk about it all week long.
Well, you know what? You know, we've had some guys that have done quite a bit of testing during the month of November, and it's kind of interesting to see as you sit back and watch. Some of the guys are working on their race trim and their race setups, and then, you know, you have some guys that are just making mock qualifying run after mock qualifying run. Of course, their goal is to get in the race. So I can tell you, when we do pole position qualifying for the Snowball Derby on Friday night, December the 5th, it's one of the most intense qualifying sessions. You know, some years back, I raced in a few Snowball Derbies myself, and the adrenaline rush as you sat down there in line waiting for your qualifying run was beyond description. So that too, of course, is going to be on 51 TV. And you know, it's a self-proclaimed, and I hope we're not out of line in doing this, but we call it the most dramatic qualifying session, sort of the Indy 500.
Well, for your short track super late model guys, whether they're making the trek from northern New England, out in the West, in the Midwest, you know, that's it, really, 2 laps. They could, all the practice, everything could go out the window if they don't hit those 2 magical laps and end up going in the last chance race and starting 30th and having to finish up in the top 4.
Yeah, on Saturday afternoon prior to the Snowflake 100, we'll be running a pair of 50-lap last chance races, one, of course, for that night's Snowflake, and then, of course, one for the Snowball Derby on Sunday. We'll take the top 4 finishers out, and I'll tell you, Steve, there'll be guys capable of winning either race that'll be in the last chance race. that's how close the competition is down here.
Yeah, I remember 2 years ago, both Jeff Fultz and Austin Terrio went in the last chance race, and at the end of the race at the Snowball Derby, they were running in the top 5. You know, so there's guys that had to go to the last chance race that were contending for the win. So such a big deal. I know you've got so much to do, final preparations, and like you said, you talk about everybody on hand, all hands on deck, and you can't talk enough about what Speed 51 and Bob Dillner and his staff brings to this weekend's event.
Well, they certainly have been a good partner with us over the years, and in helping spread the word, and I think they've been very instrumental in making this a nationally known event. And we're working extremely hard, as I said, to try to make it a good experience. You know, we've got the same size facility as when it was built way back in 1953, and just the size of the haulers alone has quadrupled since those days. So we take the same number of cars, so it used to take up X amount of inches, and now it takes up X squared amount of inches. So, you know, it's a challenge, but it's good. We do have we have a satellite parking lot a mile down the street, and we run shuttle services back and forth. So, you know, we try to make it as comfortable as we can for the fans to get in and out. But it's just an electric atmosphere here, and I'm not sure exactly how it got this way. I mean, it was a cumulative effort, and one of the things I'm proud to say is our local community down here in the Pensacola area just bends over backwards to be hospitable to the people that come in from around the country. Some genuine Southern hospitality is on display down here this weekend. So once again, for those folks that can't make the trip this year, certainly encourage you to check it out on 51 TV. Start making your plans for next year to visit Pensacola. We've got a lot of great things in our area. It's a great race, but more than that, it's just a good overall experience.
No, you're absolutely right, Tim. You just summed it right up in that last minute. And we've come, this is our 3rd year in a row, and we enjoy ourselves. You guys take us from Mainly Motorsports TV. You welcome us in. You answer any questions, and we try to do our part for you and help promote your great event. So I know you got a lot going on over the next couple days. I'm going to see you in a couple days, and look forward to you know, just another great weekend of racing right down there at Five Flags Speedway. So I want to thank you, Tim, for taking the time with us here on Mainly Motorsports, as you are the busiest guy at that track over the next few days.
Hey, it's my pleasure, and we'll look forward to having you down, Steve.
All right, that's Tim Bryant, owner, promoter, general manager, Five Flags Speedway, the home of the Snowball Derby.
Today's vehicles are equipped with complex safety features such as anti-lock brakes, seatbelt restraints, and airbag systems, even collision avoidance systems. Not available in all models. Hi, I'm Sean Moody from Moody's Collision Centers. We don't wish bad luck on anyone, but even with today's technology, we need to keep our eyes on the road and our hands on the wheel.
Moody's Collision Centers, now with 9 locations in Maine.
Legendary race car driver Bentley Warren is putting Arundel on the map. When Bentley Saloon opened in 2004, it was just a little bar room on the side of the road. Today we have a giant saloon with live music, dancing, and great food and drink indoors and out. We're always looking to meet new friends and have a good old time. There's always something exciting going on at Bentley's. That's why we like to say, who has more fun than us? We do!
Mainly Motorsports TV, brought to you by
Scotch Recreation. Whether you're thinking about your first camper or looking to upgrade your current one, Scotch Recreation can help you. Get both our Route 202 Manchester and our Route 4 Turner locations, and online at scotchrecreation.com.
LKQ Core. Any part, any repair, anywhere. Located on Route 202 in Gorham.
Well, in our last segment, you heard from the guy that's going to be running around like a chicken with his head cut off over there at Five Flags Speedway all weekend long. And I wanted to ask him, I didn't even think, if he gets a chance to stop and enjoy any part of the racing. You know, I mean, I remember last year catching up with him on the backstretch, you know, in the tech area for the street stocks, you know, helping people push modifieds. It's just, you know, such a hands-on man. And, you know, and you heard him mention about his staff and everybody behind the scenes, and he is 100% right. He just, everybody there, it is very hospitable. And we're starting to see a lot more Northerners go down. The McKeggs will be down there from Beach Ridge. Joe Squillier and his gang over there from Star Speedway, they're starting to, they're making their first trek down here this year. And, you know, just some other people that we see that are have been going to the Derby for years and other first timers. So it is a great time. We especially want to wish luck to Joey Pole, Brian Hoare, and Austin Terrio. You know, it'd be nothing better than to hear from one of those guys standing in victory lane or a top 3 finish at the end of the day. And we heard from Bob Dillner last week as he talked about Johnny Clark and Cassius Clark. I remember both of them going down, time trialing well, leading some laps, and you know, it would be nice to see some more guys like that from the north go down. And you know, I think they get a little scared about the time trialing. You know, we talked to DJ last year leading up to the event as well as after the event. You know, and everything that goes into it, and then you know, it can be such a disappointing. You heard Tim mention, you know, those 2 laps, you missed that first lap, or you it's so crucial to lock yourselves in. And I can't wait till Friday night and talk to some of the drivers that have locked themselves in, that have locked into that top 30 and don't have to worry about coming back and running a last chance qualifier the next night. They're going to be able to rest easy. They're going to be able to practice. They're going to be able to just be at ease, joke with the team, joke with the crew. You know, just you'll be able to tell when you're walking around at the end of Friday night and Saturday morning before practice starts, which drivers are already in the Snowball Derby and which drivers are headed for the last chance race, just by their demeanor. You know, you'll just be able to tell. And we're excited to go down. We're going to bring you back some great footage, some highlights, and you know, if you can't make it, you can watch it live on the internet. You know, speed51.com. I think it's a $54 or $49 price. I mean, pretty reasonable to be able to sit in the warm confines of your couch and watch one of the greatest short track races in the country. You know, we up here in the Northeast are so fortunate to have the Oxford 250 and, you know, and be able to go and watch the drivers that have come through there and then the drivers that have won that race. And sometimes, like I've always said, it isn't so much about the drivers that have won these races as it is about the great drivers that haven't won these races, you know, and that just takes, you know, for example, down there, what Chase Elliott has been able to do, what Eric Jones has been able to do, Rich Bickle was able to do, you know, Joanna Long winning that race, Tammy Jo Kirk, a female, won it years ago. So what they've been able to do, you know, how many great drivers like Bubba Pollard from the South, Daniel Hemrick, still young, but, you know, still, you wonder how many opportunities you're going to get to win these races. You know, how many chances do you get? You know, and you heard me mention some of the heavy hitters earlier, and you know, some of the, you know, Rusty Wallace. Rusty Wallace is notorious for talking about this Snowball Derby and the lack of success he found there. And you know, his kid did win it back a few years ago, and so it is such a big deal. It is a prestigious race, very similar to the Oxford 250 that we're all fortunate enough to call our big premier marquee event up here in the Northeast, which will be taking place August 30th weekend this year over at Oxford Plains Speedway. So, you know, follow along, Speed 51, Bob Dillner, his staff, trackside coverage, be able to buy it on the internet if you want to. So there's just so many opportunities to play more of a role and be more of a part of this year's Snowball Derby weekend. So we're going to take a break. We'll come back and I'll wrap up this week's episode of Mainly Motorsports.
Get the right car at the right price. OTMotorsales.com.
Not sure what brand tire to buy? Town Fair Tire has them all. Michelin, Goodyear, Firestone, Bridgestone, Pirelli, Toyo, Yokohama, Hankook, and more. No matter what size or brand, Town Fair Tire beats all the competition, even online prices. We'll also do a free front wheel alignment with any tire purchase. Name brand tires, the lowest prices, free alignment. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
Welcome back to Mainly Motorsports, and I know it's the off season up here in the Northeast, but the last 2 weeks you've heard us talk to some races that are going to be competing at the Snowball Derby, and northern guys we've seen win races. You know, former Oxford 250 winner, former Milk Bowl winners, former Past 300 winners. I mean, Austin Terriers won on the ACA level, competed on the K&N level, competed in the nationwide level. So, you know, we have some very good, talented drivers representing northern New England, but the next chance to see any of these drivers and other great drivers will be the Northeast Motorsports Expo, the 27th annual Northeast Motorsports Expo, which will be taking place up at the Augusta Civic Center January 9th through the 11th, 2015. It's your chance to come up, see the shiny new cars, pick up track schedules, talk to the drivers, talk to the staffs of these tracks, you know, see some of the special things they got going on. You know, drivers will be walking around. The Maine Motorsports Hall of Fame will be there with their mobile museum. They're going to have a live auction again on Saturday. Just so much unity. Nick Huff doing a great job trying to bring unity back to where it belongs. And they're going to have the rules meeting and just a general meeting up there on Saturday. The awards, we'll be giving awards out up there Friday night. The Pit Crew Challenge, the hell of a good Pit Crew Challenge. You guys have seen that take off from 2 years ago to where it is now. $750 to the winning team. That's $150 each team member. Just got to change 4 tires. Same process as last year. You'll be able to lock yourself in on the qualifying times from the Friday night session or the 3 times on Saturday. We'll notify the top 16 teams. They'll come back and go head-to-head in bracket style time eliminations. So really a good time. Team Travis Benjamin, 2 years in a row reigning champions. And the Oddballs, they've given them a run 2 years in a row. And I can't think of, I keep thinking of the team that Billy Childs and some of those guys put together last year. Jimmy Childs, just standing around watching one of the qualifying rounds. Looked, it's, you want to do it, and do it. They took 5 guys, came in, and they ended up 4th or 5th overall. You know, Bob Guptill's team, the Northeast Mini Stock team, you know, had a girl, nothing against girls, had a girl as a tire carrier. They qualified. They ran the best time of the whole weekend. Just amazing. The McKeggs, you know, 2 boys, 2 8, 9-year-old boys carrying their tires, and they made it all the way and finished in the top 10. So you don't have to be ringers. You just have to not make mistakes. And then we also will do the media challenge, and hopefully we can talk Scott Tapley into, because he did let me know last year, he was a former champion crew member of the Pit Crew Champions on the Busch North Series years ago. And maybe John Williams this year can get his own deal together, and somebody's got to knock off Kyle Fredrickson, 2-time reigning champ, and gets to pick his charity that donates his money to. So hopefully, you know, we get some more media members. We'll have a ladies competition again, the tracks and tours. So that is a great time, that Pit Crew Challenge. It's that interactive thing. You know, we got a lot of the same people coming back, changing up some displays. Quirk will be back there. EJP, you know, John Holland and Sunoco, big supporter of our hell of a good Pit Crew Challenge, you know. So just go to the website. Any information, if you want to be a vendor, you can go to the website, download the form, www.northeastmotorsportsexpo.net. Any questions, you can contact me. All my contact information is there. See a list of some of the exhibits that are going to be coming. We're going to keep adding them. Now, this is the time of year. Everybody gets through Thanksgiving. Then it takes off. Everybody realizes, oh, my goodness, January's right around the corner. I had to get my stuff in. So you watch that show take off now. And then don't forget the raffle car. Your chance to win. And then I don't see anybody else in the country giving away a turnkey Super Late model except us. So we're going to sell tickets. You can buy your tickets at the show. You can email me or contact me earlier enough. I can get the tickets to you. So, yeah, it's your chance to win this turnkey Super Late model. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this week's episode. Next week, hopefully we can, probably won't be on Wednesday. So if you're watching the show, you'll be watching it Friday. We're hopefully going to try to have the new show on air for Friday, and then Saturday morning on WPME, the new show from the Snowball Derby as we travel back and get all this stuff put together and bring back the highlights and the interviews from all the people that found success down there at Five Flag Speedway. So we'll see you next time right here on Mainly Motorsports.